In today's climate, you always need to be ready. Nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights. Shoot better. Stay safer. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge.
Today on Gun Talk, we talk with a lawyer who discovered supposedly destroyed records being used to prosecute gun owners. And just how much force can you use to protect yourself and your family? A new book details the rules for law enforcement and what you need to know. Plus, Tom reveals the best gun and caliber for self-defense. And your phone calls at 866-TALK-GUN. Stand by for Tom and Lock and Load.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, we're going to have a bunch of fun today. Some things, fun things to talk about, some interesting subjects, talking about gun control, gun laws, but also we'll talk about the guns that you want to talk about, the ammo. What are you finding out there? Just had a guy write me, he said he wants to get a snub-nose 44 Magnum. Really? Okay, good for you. When you get that, take it out, if you would, please, and put a bunch of full power load through it. Let me know how that works for you. Ow! Can you say carpal tunnel? Yiga. Honestly, I think I'd probably rather have, if I'm going to go snubby, I'd rather have a 357. That's enough, but a 44 Magnum, holy smoke, those things will smart. You could always shoot 44 Special in it if you want to do that. And that's the kind of thing we're going to be talking about. Is which guns do you want to buy? Thinking about buying a shotgun or a rifle or a handgun, we can help you out. All you have to do is give us a call. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. By the way, I'm Tom Gresham. I am your host. We enter the 20th year of doing Gun Talk radio. Amazing. I can't even imagine. I didn't give it more than about 5 or 6 weeks, kind of like that big-time radio consultant we talked to. He says, no, that'll never go anywhere. Yeah. Oh, by the way, he's still a big-time radio consultant. That's the way consultants go. It's not just in the U.S. that we have to protect gun rights. The problem is in some other countries, they don't have our Second Amendment, so it's tougher. But we sometimes can look at other countries and say, okay, what's going on there? What can we learn from it here? And I don't want to waste any time at this point. I'm going to bring in Solomon Friedman. He is an attorney in Canada and is kind of the go-to gun rights guy up there. Solomon, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Absolutely. Now, for those, particularly those in the U.S. who don't know, can you give like the brief history of the Long Gun Registry, what happened and kind of where it is now?
Sure. It's actually a fascinating story, and more than that, it's really a cautionary tale for Americans. Right. The Long Gun Registry was enacted in the late 1990s, and what it did essentially was supplement what we already had. In Canada, handguns have been registered with the government since the 30s, but rifles and shotguns never had been previously. And in the 90s, as part of a gun control overhaul, Canadians, law-abiding citizens, were required to register with the government which rifles and shotguns they owned. Now, if we jump forward another decade or so, a new conservative government gets elected and promises to repeal the Long Gun Registry, scrap it, and destroy the records. So what was at first seen as a great victory for gun rights advocates in Canada, sort of a little bit of that luster has come off now that we're discovering that, in fact, those records may not have actually been destroyed, and they may be being used by law enforcement all the time.
Holy cow. So as you say, it's a cautionary tale when you're told, okay, we're going to destroy those records, or as we're told in the U.S., yes, we do the background check, but those records are destroyed within 24 hours. And for many years, a lot of us have thought, sure, once those things get on a computer, I doubt that they're destroyed. But I'll take that information about the Canadian registry and bring it to what happened with what I guess is called the great gun grab that you had there last year.
Well, we've sort of seen waves of what would be termed gun grabs, where certain guns are either reclassified or deemed prohibited. And, of course, there's a very basic principle here, which is to say it's very difficult for the government to confiscate your guns unless they know which ones you have. And, of course, right. Canadian gun rights proponents advocated very clearly saying registration leads to confiscation. We saw it in Australia, we saw it in the United Kingdom, and we saw it in Canada, where first there was, all we want to do is register. We don't want to take your guns, of course, God forbid. We'd never want to do that. We just want to know who has what, for public safety, of course. And then 4 or 5 years later, they say, well, we're going to prohibit, 5% of your guns. And, of course, we now know where they are because you lawfully complied and registered them. So that's the real cautionary tale. Registration is really a one-way street to confiscation. They cannot take what they don't know about. Now, what's concerning in Canada is the fact that although the government said these records were supposed to be destroyed, we are seeing that fragments, copies of these databases are floating around. Remember, in the electronic age, it's very difficult to actually delete something. So that's something that should be of concern not only to Canadians, but I think to Americans who are sometimes looking down the barrel of that particular gun.
So you're seeing, it's interesting, you say you're seeing pieces of the registration floating around. Have people actually been charged with, or have the authorities gone after people using this data that's supposedly destroyed?
Well, let me give you an example. It's no longer an offense in Canada to have a rifle or shotgun that's not registered. So that offense has gone by the wayside when the long gun registry was repealed. But what I'm seeing, and my practice is primarily one of criminal defense, and I happen to defend many law-abiding gun owners as well. But what I'm seeing is, there's an encounter with the police arising out of some complaint, and the police say, well, where are your firearms? And if an individual says, well, here they are, they'll say, well, you also own 4 more guns. Where are these guns?
Oh, how would they know?
How do you know, right? After the demise of the long gun registry, they shouldn't know. But I think, and it was fairly obvious to me when it was trickling down, and you have this in the United States as well, where you have sort of joint jurisdiction over firearms control. You have a federal layer, but then every state has its own system. So in Canada, the provinces, our state equivalents, worked together with the federal government. And, of course, some of our provinces are far less friendly to gun owners than others. So while the federal government was moving in one direction, often the provinces are moving in another. And we see here the provinces don't want to give up that information, although the federal government repealed it. And I think that same danger exists in the United States as well, when one hand doesn't know what the other is doing or doesn't agree with what the other is doing.
One of the stories that came out of Canada last year, and I don't know if you were involved in this or maybe just an informed observer, was at High River. What happened there? Is that something you could share with everybody?
Absolutely. High River, Alberta, was a town that was badly flooded by last year's round of flooding that swept across central Canada. And obviously police are going to be involved in evacuation efforts. But what was very strange was the fact that police were going door to door, seemingly knowing which homes housed guns and how many. Mm-hmm. And as the people were being evacuated, they were kicking down doors and confiscating firearms. Now, this is concerning really from two perspectives. It's concerning from a basic civil property rights perspective. But once again, it raised the specter of how did the police know which guns were in which homes? And that seems to at least imply to people who in the know that there are copies of this registration database out there, and then they're in the hands of the police.
Now, we do have a lot of folks listening to Gun Talk in Canada. How do they find out more about or keeping on top of this, and also about what you're up to? What are you doing? How do they find out more about that?
Yeah, I work often closely with the large firearms advocacy organizations. We have the National Firearms Association in Canada. I like to say a poor man's NRA. I mean, we don't have the manpower here. There are only 2 million gun owners, licensed gun owners in Canada in total, and then only a fraction of those belong to the advocacy organizations. But there are people who are fighting in the courts and in the halls of Ottawa, our national capital and our parliament, fighting for the rights of gun owners. But I think the most important thing people need to take away from these sorts of tales is they need to be aware. That is to say that when we hear about registration, when we hear about databases, you need to be extremely skeptical. I testified before Parliament about the long gun registry. I was talking about these types of dangers. And afterwards, a member of Parliament came up to me and said, isn't your real fear that this information is going to fall into the wrong hands? And I said, it's a government database. This information is already in the wrong hands.
That would be my answer.
That's the real lesson here. Government hates to give up information about its citizens. And the way that we prevent, tragedies and the loss of our rights is by ensuring they never have it in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. Solomon, do you have a website people can go to?
I do. People can visit my website at firearmslaw.ca. Learn all about the situation regarding Canadian gun owners and gun rights in Canada.
Thank you so much, and thank you for what you do. And keep us posted if you would, please.
My pleasure.
All right, you take care. 866-TALK-GUN, 866-TALK-GUN. Let's talk about it.
Tired of overpaying for one concealed carry holster after another that is flimsy, hard to hide, or just plain uncomfortable? At Alien Gear Holsters, less than $30 gets you a professional quality holster that's super stealthy and ultra comfortable. Every Alien Gear holster is backed by a forever warranty, a 30-day test drive, and free shell trades for life in case you buy a different gun. AlienGearHolsters.com. AlienGearHolsters.com.
The Ruger LC380 is the perfect pairing of the award-winning LC9 pistol and the popular 380 auto cartridge. The LC380 is the same size as the LC9, yet offers reduced recoil, making it Ruger's lightest recoiling personal protection pistol yet. It features a dovetailed high-visibility 3-dot sight system, 7-round magazine and finger grip extension floor plate, manual safety, and loaded chamber indicator. The Ruger LC380, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
Looking for shooting instruction but don't know where to go? Well, we have it, and you can access hours of training and safety videos, which you can watch on your home computer. On GunTalkTV.com, we have top competitive shooters, the best in self-defense trainers, and folks who have hunted all over the world, helping you learn which gun to buy, how to use it, how to store it safely, and everything else you need to be a safe and competent shooter. We also have gun makers showing off their newest rifles, shotguns, and handguns. Doesn't matter if you're a veteran shooter or a complete beginner, you'll find what you need at GunTalkTV.com. You can check it out for free, and you can get full access for only $5.95 a month. That gives you unlimited access to hundreds of videos, and we're adding more all the time. Run the videos over and over to make sure you understand what's being said. Skip around. You're in control. Get smarter. Shoot better. Visit GunTalkTV.com.
In today's climate, you always need to be ready. Nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights. Shoot better. Stay safer. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge.
TopGunSupply.com carries a large selection of fine firearms and accessories. Get all the parts you need for your Sig Sauer, HK, and Glock pistols. Grips, screws, recoil springs, sights, barrels, magazines, holsters. The list goes on. Our knowledgeable sales staff, professional service, great prices, and super fast shipping are here to help you. Check us out today. TopGunSupply.com. TopGunSupply.com.
Be sure and register for the XS Sights Love at Front Sight giveaway. Grand prize winner gets a Remington 870 Tactical Express Shotgun with XS front and rear sights, custom lasered with the XS Sight and Gun Talk logos. 10 winners will win an XS Sights Good Guys swag bag, complete with a $200 gift certificate to put toward a pair of XS Sights. Enter to win right now at guntalk.com/win through February 28th. Good luck, and now back to Tom.
All righty, let's see. Breaking news. This really is breaking news. Just got this from somebody sent me an email. Thank you for that. On the website gunsavelives.net, they are reporting, and it's actually fed from the KMOV TV station in St. Louis area. Major fire at Winchester Ammo Plant. I don't know if it's major or not. It says early this morning, firefighters responded to reports of a fire at the Winchester Ammunition Plant in East Alton, Illinois. I have not confirmed this. I'm just reading the report as it appears here. It appears based on initial reports that the fire was contained to a storage area and was caused or made worse by exploding propane tanks. So storage area, obviously, when they have a fire at the ammo plant, they roll everybody. I think they rolled out 7 different departments to this thing. No other word on this, but if it was in a storage area, probably, knock wood, is not going to affect production. So, but that's the news we're getting on that. If anybody knows anything else, by all means, if you're in that St. Louis area or if you have some info, give us a holler. 866-TALK-GUN. We'll get you in here. Line 3, David's with us out of Zeeland, Michigan. Hello, David.
How you doing? Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
What I'd like your advice on is I am looking to buy my first AR-15.
Okay.
I actually have money down on one, but now that I do, it's a Colt LE 6900 Light. Okay. And now that I have the money down on it and I'm getting ready to go get it, I'm reading a lot of stuff and talking to people, and I'm hearing that it's not actually made by Colt, and it's really not a very high-quality gun. And I wonder if you knew anything about it, had some advice. Should I just take the hit on the restocking fee and look for something else, or is it a decent gun? Or
I would, first of all, you're getting actually pre-buyer's remorse, which is always interesting. Secondly, you can hear anything on the internet. Just this morning, I was involved in a conversation on the web, and it was just one of those bizarre things, and you're scratching your head and going, where are you guys coming from? Colt makes really good guns. I don't know about that particular model. I'm not familiar with it. But I would never, let me just say, I would never hesitate to buy a Colt and wouldn't worry about the quality of it. Just wouldn't. There are a lot of great companies making really good ARs, but Colt has always, when people say, what are the best companies, Colt has always been in the top 5. No matter what you do. So if you've got money down on a Colt, I would just get it.
Well, what I'm hearing is it's not actually made by Colt.
Well, I don't know that.
Okay.
I can't help you on that one. If you know what you ought to do? Tomorrow, call Colt.
Okay.
Just call them and say, do you guys make this in your plant in Connecticut? And, find out. If not, then you may want to back down or do something differently. But if it's made right there, was it Connecticut or Massachusetts? I think it's Massachusetts. Anyway, find out. But if it's made in their plant, I would buy it in a heartbeat. So, by the way, are you looking, what do you want to do with it? Is this target shooting, competition, home defense? What are we looking at?
Right now, home defense, I've been shooting a little bit of IDPA, and am kind of thinking down the road, possibly some 3-gun. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Home defense, basically, right now.
The beauty of the AR system, of course, is that it's Tinker Toys or an erector set. You can pop the top off, put different uppers on it, do whatever you want to do to it. It can be a lightweight home defense gun. It can be a heavyweight varminter. It can be a 3-gun. You can do anything you want for that. So, if you're concerned, call Colt, ask them where it's made, and make your decision based on that, all right?
All right, great. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, David. Appreciate it. Dean is in Granite Bay, California on 2. Hello, Dean. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Tom. Hey, I was calling about the app system. It's California's Armed Prohibited Person System.
Right.
And this was a law that was passed to take money from the gross fees and fund essentially a SWAT team to go around the state and collect firearms from people that they deem shouldn't have them. Well, there was a case just recently. Let me just find it. This gentleman had smoked pot in 1970, and just now they came by his house and confiscated all his firearms. He asked what it was for, and they quoted in some code number, and they said, we don't really know what it's for.
Right.
They said firearms.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. They said it was a felony. Wait, just a second, Dean. Let me fill in the blanks here. They said it was a felony, and at the time it was back in the 70s, but that got changed, so he's not now a convicted felon. But the officers who came to the door didn't know. All they had was a code number. We've talked about this apps thing before, particularly when we had Gene Hoffman on here from Cal Guns Foundation. What's going on? Cal Guns Foundation is working to challenge this, but it is a great example of pick your line. We were just following orders is one that comes to mind. We've heard that throughout history. Or unintended consequences, or even good intentions gone bad, where we don't want bad guys to have guns, but you know what? It's a lot easier to take guns away from the good guys than it is from the bad guys. So once again, what we have is California is, you guys are under assault, Dean. It is nasty what's going on out there. And I know that there are people fighting the good fight, and that's great. We just need more California gun owners to get involved and make a commitment. Not just get involved, but make a commitment. Let me ask you, Dean, how do you stay informed on all this? Do you go to CalGuns, or what do you use?
I belong to the local NRA Members Council, and we have a couple of people in our groups that work at the Capitol, and they come out and give us the laws that are pending, and we discuss them, and we make people aware of it. Right. I also belong to California Rifle and Pistol Association, and I check out CalGuns.
Okay.
So I'm very informed.
Okay. Let me ask you then. You're one of the guys that really is plugged in and stays on top of this. How do we get other gun owners who are going about their daily lives clueless on this? How do we get them plugged in?
I have to agree with you on your secret weapon, which is to take someone shooting. Once you get their interest, then you tell them, do you realize what's going on? If you enjoy this, then you need to fight. Because right now, there's a small percentage of people pulling the wagon, so you have the freedoms to even do this.
Right.
And every time I've taken someone shooting, they go, wow, this is a lot of fun. And then you start telling them, the laws that they're trying to pass, and they look at you like you have a hole in your head. I said, well, they can't do that. I said, well, they're doing it. So you better wake up.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. That's fascinating. You take them out. We know what it is, Dean, and you're exactly right. Instead of now they're thinking about, well, that's what the laws are doing to those people. Now they're a shooter, and now they realize, oh, that's what the laws are doing to me, and now it becomes personal. Dean, thank you so much for your call. I appreciate it. Yeah, the APPS group, APPS, Google it, California APPS. You will see some horror stories. But we were just following orders, or we have a policy. I love that one. That's the when you're really, really afraid or ashamed or want to hide behind something, you have a policy. We're just following policy. Well, that gets you out of everything, doesn't it? How about the whole deprivation of rights under color of law? If you're not involved in your state group, it's time to get there, okay? What gun are you thinking about buying? Or have you been out to the range shooting a gun? I'd love to get your range report. Tell me what gun you like. 866-TALK-GUN.
Have you taken your family, friends, and kids shooting lately? You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, and we'll be right back. Want to be a guest on the show? Drop us a line at info@guntalk.com. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
A lot of things going on. Just got another email about that fire at the Winchester ammunition plant this morning. Evidently, there's no talk of it affecting production. Appears to have been in a storage area. But, look, if you're the fire department's around that area, I'm sure you drill on this, and you have an ammunition factory. So if there is a fire of any sort there, you roll a lot of trucks right off the bat. At least that would be my thought. So I don't know the extent of it. We'll find out more later, but at least that's the report we're getting as of right now. It doesn't sound as though it really got into the factory. Maybe it was a storage area, but again, more details if and when I get them. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. We'll get you in here, or just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. By the way, let me find this info. Oh, our giveaway this month is from Excess Sights, giving away listen to this now, a one-of-a-kind, only one of these being made, a Remington 870 Tactical Express shotgun with factory-upgraded Excess sights on it and ghost ring sights, and it's custom lasered with the Excess Sights and Gun Talk logos. We've never had that before. To enter for a chance to win, go to guntalk.com/win. Also, let's see. Oh, yeah, still got time. Excess is doing their love at front sight as opposed to first sight giveaway. Enter, and you go to their website. They've got a special deal going. I think that one ends Valentine's Day, which is this coming Friday. So anyway, that's the drill there. Question for you. Do you, as a gun owner, get questions from people who are not gun owners or want to be shooters about what gun to buy? I bet you do. If they know you're a shooter, probably in the last couple of years especially, maybe even the last 3 or 4 years, so many people are thinking about or getting guns for self-protection. So my question to you is this. What do you tell people when they say, well, what gun should I buy? How do you handle it? I'm always trying to find other ways of presenting the information. I mean, essentially, that's a lot of what I do is say, okay, well, let's find a different way of presenting it so maybe there's a different message, or maybe there's a different message altogether, and there's a better way to go about this. So when somebody asks you, what gun should I get for self-protection, how do you approach the conversation? 866-TALK-GUN. That will get you in here. Let's see. Line 1, Al is with us out of Oregon. Hello, Al.
How you doing, Tom?
I'm good.
I invested in a Mossberg 715T.
Mm-hmm.
Took it out to the range, and it's got a 25-round mag. You could not load the magazine without having to use a pocket knife or a screwdriver because the rims would come out of a little slot on the side of the magazine. And then, when you went to fire it, going the other way, they would hang up and causing the shell to pivot a little bit and not load, so you'd end up jamming. That happened on every other round.
Okay.
That apparently is an inherent design problem.
Did you contact Mossberg?
I went to my gun dealer. I bought the rifle from Davidson. They sent it to one of my local dealers. He had 3 on the shelf, and all 3 were the same way.
Did you ever talk to Mossberg?
Talked to Mossberg, and they said, well, we hear rumors that there's a problem, but we haven't any facts yet, so we're not doing anything. And at that point, I said, it's time for me to get out of this.
Okay. What'd you do?
I talked to Davidson's. I talked to my gun dealer who handled it, and he talked to Davidson's, and Davidson's turned around and said, we agree with you. There's a problem because all of the magazines are the same way, and the ones we have in stock. And so they said, we'll refund your money or credit you. So I ended up getting an M&P 1522.
Okay, so the guys at Davidson's took care of you.
Correct.
Okay,
but I
that's
just
good to
wanted
know.
Pass word along that the 15T has a problem.
Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. Next time, I'm going to make it a point. I'll contact Mossberg and find out what's going on and see if we can get an update if they've identified a problem and if they have a fix. So we'll pass that along when we get that information. But I appreciate the range report, and I'm really glad to hear that the guys at Davidson's took care of you. I figured they would. But for those who don't know, galleryofguns.com, you can go there, order your gun. It gets delivered to your local dealer. Do the local background check there, and they have a lifetime warranty on the Gallery of Guns, the Davidson's guys. So, again, thank you for that call, Al. Let's see. Jim is on line 3. He's in Elwood, Nebraska. Hey, Jim.
Oh, hello. I didn't know I was going to be on the radio. I was talking to your call screener.
Okay.
What I was asking about, the early call on the first part of the show, I had very poor reception. And what was the Colt rifle that this man was
I don't know
about?
I don't remember.
Oh.
I didn't write it down, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, I have a CCR, and I know you've shot one in the past. I've heard you speak about it.
At the Colt Custom?
Yes,
Yes.
And excellent rifle. If that's what he's getting, I got mine for home defense because it's a 16-inch barrel, and is with Hornady.
I'm sorry. You know what?
Ammunition. It's a half-inch gun.
I said Colt Custom. It's Colt Competition. That's a Colt Competition gun. It's actually made and if that's what it is, you're right. It's not made by Colt in Connecticut. It's actually made in Oregon, and they are fabulous rifles. They are so good, it is scary how accurate they are.
I think it's a great rifle. I was very glad I bought it.
So what do you do with it? Competition or what?
Oh, no. I just bought it as a home defense gun. I have, it's the only short-barreled AR I have. My other AR was a match rifle, and it has a 24-inch barrel on it.
Ah, okay.
But
the Colt competition guys, they are making a real nice high-end gun. So if that's what you're looking at, by all means, do not worry about that, because those are fabulous guns. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. We'll get you in here. 866-TALK-GUN. Be right back.
At Double Tap Ammunition, we hand inspect every round that we make, and we use only the best components to give you the best ammunition on the market. Try us out at www.doubletapammo.com and use the promo code GUNTALK for 10% off your order.
The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently. When it comes to personal protection, nothing beats a Bodyguard. Choose the lightweight, compact, and concealable Bodyguard 380 pistol or the Bodyguard 38 revolver, both with a built-in laser sight. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
It's great to make something with your own hands. When you reload, the whole family can get involved, including breaking more targets and bagging more birds. Mech reloaders have been the center of family activities for generations. Plus, you can save money and stock up, even when there's nothing in the stores. 10, 12, 16, 20, 28, and 410. Any gauge. Get started reloading. Visit mechreloaders.com. That's MECreloaders.com.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
Accurate, powerful, consistent. At Double Tap Ammunition, we offer 364 loads in 83 calibers that give you exactly what you've been looking for. Try us out at www.doubletapammo.com and use the promo code GUNTALK for 10% off your order.
Want your opinion to make a difference? Log on to our website and take the Gun Talk poll. www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Tom.
All right, welcome back to Gun Talk. Tom Gresham here. We had a caller wanted to know when the new material will start showing up on Guns and Gear TV and Gun Talk TV. The new material starts in July. It runs third and fourth quarters. We are we've actually been in production for the next season. So we're shooting video for the next season of Guns and Gear and Gun Talk. And a little bit after that, we'll be shooting for the next season of our online series, First Person Defender. So you can see Guns and Gear and Gun Talk now on Sportsman Channel. And I don't know if it's running on Pursuit right now. We'd have to check on that. But I know it's on Sportsman Channel right now. So, and you can also look at all of them online. If you go to our YouTube channel and just put in Gun Talk Media in there, you'll find all of our shows there. But yes, the new material starts in July, the first part of the third quarter. So there you go. By the way, we're having fun with this stuff. you're going to like what we're doing. Shooting some hogs, shooting some pheasants, and then we're going to go pull some top shooters together, do some pretty interesting stuff. Line 2, Bruce is with us out of Georgia. Hello, Bruce.
Hey, Tom. My most recent purchase was a Ruger LC9, and it's immediately become my favorite carry piece.
Neat.
My issue is it's got such a long trigger pull, and reset is so long.
Yep.
That at the range, I can get used to it, but then when I switch back to my Glock 19,
oh yeah,
I've lost everything that
That's difficult. That's a big switch because the LC9 has a long trigger pull. I mean, that's just inherent in what it is. But you like the pistol? That's what you're saying.
Oh, very much. Yes, I can drop that in my waistband and it just disappears. So my question is, I've been looking online. Timney Triggers, unfortunately, doesn't have anything for an LC9, but
no.
I found a place that has a trigger kit.
Galloway?
If I modify it, I'm kind of concerned if I ever, God forbid, have to pull it, what that's going to do me in court.
Gotcha.
So is there any kind of recommendation, tips, tricks that you know of where I can switch from one to the other and not just have to relearn?
No. You know what? Those trigger pulls are so different. Are you looking at, I'm looking, Galloway Precision has a kit to, if you will, fix, modify, change, however you like to put it, the trigger pull on the LC9 and the LC380. I've not used it, so, let me give you some truth in advertising here. I don't know how well it works. I've read good reports on it. I don't know how that would affect a warranty on the gun, but they say their claim is it reduces the trigger pull by 35%, and a 35% shorter stroke for the LC9. This is Galloway Precision. So, all right, let me get to your real question is, if you have to use your gun in self-defense situation, will the fact that you have put a custom, if you will, trigger on it, a hair trigger, is what the prosecutor will say, affect you? Here's what you have to understand. That's problem number 2. What you want is to take care of problem number 1, which amounts to putting shots on target. So anything you can do to your gun that allows you to make better shots and still keeps it safe and reliable, so it's not a really, really, really light trigger, so you inadvertently touch one off, is a good thing. Here's what you got to understand. Here's the reality of it. If a prosecutor wants to, he can make a deal out of the fact that you actually had the gun loaded. The fact that you had a gun that doesn't have a thumb safety on it if you're using a Glock. The fact that you had a round in the chamber instead of just having the magazine loaded so that you then would have to work the slide. There's no end to the silly things that a prosecutor can do. Your defense for all of that is to make sure you don't do anything wrong. If you're in fear for your life and it's a good shoot and you can convince 12 people that they too would have done the same thing, then don't sweat it. So I personally would not worry about it. I know you got a lot of armchair folks out there who say, I would never do that because I heard such and such. Really? Show me a case. I mean, that's where I always end up saying, really? Where was that case? Well, I heard. Yes, I know. You had a friend who heard it from a buddy who got his hair cut from somebody who knew. Yeah, right. Show me the case. Okay. I'm not saying it's never happened. I'm just saying I've never heard of it and actually been able to get the information where somebody was successfully prosecuted because he had modified his gun in some form or fashion. Now, if you do something stupid, something you're not supposed to do, that's a whole different deal. But if you try every way you can to avoid the situation, and if you use a gun in self-defense and it's justifiable, and you can convince 12 other people that it's justifiable, good to go. So anyway, that's kind of where I come down on it. Worry about problem number 1, and if you can take care of that successfully and you're still alive and your family's good, then you could then get help from an attorney and you can deal with problem number 2.
You don't have to agree with Tom to participate in the show. Call now with any of your concerns about guns, gun rights, or particular firearms, or suggestions for your shooting activity or personal protection. 1-866-825-5486. Gun Talk is coming right back.
All right, we're talking about the breaking news coming out of Illinois, East Alton, Illinois, where the Winchester plant had a fire this morning. To give us a first-hand report on this, Larry Reed is the host of, the host of the radio show that precedes Gun Talk in Alton, East Alton. Hey, Larry, how you doing?
Hey, buddy. I didn't know we'd be talking so soon again, but I thought I'd give you what I know about. Fortunately, the Winchester ammunition plant in East Alton, the fire was at a maintenance facility, and 7 or 8 area fire units responded and got everything under control, and no injuries, thank God.
Good deal. So how about production of ammo?
Tom, I don't know. I don't have the information on that, but my guess would be that the production of ammo will not be messed up.
Yeah, if it was a maintenance facility, then it makes sense it wouldn't. It also makes sense they would roll a lot of trucks out. Hey, if you hear a report of a fire at an ammo plant, you're going to send everybody.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're all going to that one.
So everything's going good for Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, and we got to visit with some of the people. And of all things, today at our church, Mike Jordan's name was brought up.
Oh, I'm darn. Everything okay?
Yeah, he's doing great, and he's down in Florida golfing and at his place down there. And he said, the guy that was kidding me, he said, you and Gresham ought to go down there and play golf with him.
No. Mike can play golf just as well as he can shoot, and he was an all-American trap shooter. So I have played golf with Mike, and he beats me just as bad at golf as he does in shooting. So, no, I'm not going to do that. We're talking about Mike Jordan, who was at Winchester Ammo for so many years. Larry, thank you for the call. Thank you for letting us know what's going on there, man.
Always a pleasure. Good luck, Tom.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, actually, Mike Jordan was not Michael Jordan, although that is his name. But he was with Winchester for many years, trap shooter. And he was involved when we put together this crazy idea of combining golf and shooting together. We went out to the Homestead Resort in Virginia, and we shot sporting clays and played golf and came up with this goofy way that Doug Painter, actually at the NSSF, put together of combining the scores of golf and sporting clays. And we made TV shows about it. Now, some would say that this was a scam. Some would say it was just a reason to get together and shoot and play golf. To which I would say, yeah, what's your point? No, we had a great time. And it's interesting how many corollaries are things in common, if you will, golf and shooting has, particularly wing shooting. You got stance, grip, alignment, swing, follow through, head position. It just goes on and on. So we were able to combine those two things. And the idea was, frankly, not to try to get shooters to take up golf. The idea, and we worked with Golf Digest magazine, was to introduce the shooting sports to golfers. And so we brought people in who had never shot before, who are golfers. And what we found is that by explaining it to them in golf terms, they got it, and they could start breaking targets very quickly. And we turned a lot of people on to shooting through that program. It was really a lot of fun. So, honestly, there's wing shooting especially is an athletic endeavor. It's you're mounting the gun, you're swinging, you're moving, you're following through. It's the grip, it's the stance, it's the setup. And if your setup isn't right, you're probably not going to break the target. And so many times we say, well, I don't understand what happens. Well, frankly, you missed the target because of where you had your feet. People go, what? Yeah, well, that's why you get with a good wing shooting instructor. He or she can fix that for you. Put your feet in the right place, get you lined up so that you are ready to break the target when it appears. All the work's done before you even call pull. That's what that's all about. Hey, when we come back, we'll give you more shooting instruction right here on Gun Talk.
No black helicopters here, just the facts about gun rights and gun ownership. This is Gun Talk.